Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well, and today we're going to be doing a box office preview for this upcoming weekend using boxofficepro.com. These are the projections for the domestic numbers for the new films coming out and for some films that have been out for a while. Only one new release getting any type of wide release this weekend, and that is a remake, once again, another Universal remake of a classic horror, which is The Invisible Man. Now, I have been rather critical of the marketing for this movie because it seems to be focused solely on the female character instead of being on the titular character, and the titular character is being portrayed as an extremely abusive person. Now, I will speak to this to say that I am not an expert on the original source material, but I do not remember the original source material being focused on the character of the Invisible Man being a overly abusive person in the beginnings of their relationship and then becoming the Invisible Man and continuing on to abuse it. So I don't know if there's anything political going on there. I obviously will have to wait and see what the film overall is, what the critics say about the movie, because as we all know, critics are very easily revealing of their agendas when it comes to their reviews of films. But I will say this much. I've actually heard pretty positive things from people that I trust, saying that the film is pretty engaging for the most part. I know that Jeremy Johns overall loved this film. I've also heard from other people saying that the movie took a while to get started, that the first 40 to 45 minutes were just boring as hell, but then eventually it picks up, but that it's not really a great film to see in theaters and that you could just wait to go see it on home release, which is what I think a lot of people are going to do. That all being said, it is set to make around $30 million this opening weekend domestically, which is actually a huge win if those numbers hold, because the movie itself did not cost a whole lot of money. In fact, if you look to the overall box office numbers, it costs roughly, let's see, they don't even have the box office number here for how much it cost, but I want to say the last time I checked, it was at $7 million for the actual production budget, which is incredibly low for a film, especially a film like this, but it seems to me pretty accurate based on what I've been hearing. Yeah, so $9 million is what the projected budget for this film is. So that is according to, let's see, boxofficemojo.com. So again, take that with a grain of salt because boxofficemojo.com is not nearly as trustworthy as it used to be, but $9 million sounds about right for this lower budget film. But if it does indeed make this $30 million, that means the film will basically break even after its first opening weekend just in the domestic marketplace, because if it costs around $9 million to produce, means you got to add on another but $4.5 million in top of that for marketing. So $13.5 million it costs to make the film, $30 million, they get about 60%. So that means they make a little over 15. Yeah. So it looks like the film is set to be at the break-even point and profitability number after its opening weekend. So despite the fact that it might be woke, we don't really know quite yet. Again, just because a film focuses on one character over another doesn't necessarily mean it's political. However, just based on the marketing and based on the fact that it's called The Invisible Man, and the Invisible Man doesn't seem to be the focus of this story, that just rubs me the wrong way. Just like with any remake, because again, all remakes and reboots, in general, they tend to be pretty worthless. If you're not going to add anything or really be able to improve upon the source material, I don't think that there's a good enough reason for you to retell the story just because either one, you want to make a quick buck, i.e. Aladdin and i.e. The Lion King, or two, you want to try and push some type of political agenda, i.e. Ghostbusters 2016 or Charlie's Angels. So I don't know if it's going to be one of the two, if it's just going to be a try and get a cash grab opportunity for the film, or if it's going to try and push a political agenda, but we shall see indeed. Sonic the Hedgehog, though, continues to have a very strong box office, another $17.3 million. Not coming in at number one, but that is what I expected after I heard the initial numbers for The Invisible Man. But that is also only a 34% drop from its last weekend, which is very good. That's a very good drop number to have. It means the film is still popular. It's still bringing in money, still having people going back for second viewings, and it means that that film is definitely going to be crossing the profitability margin by the end of this weekend, especially if it continues to do well overseas. And remember, it is hitting these numbers well over 200 million worldwide last time I checked, which is without China as well. Call of the Wild actually doesn't have a terrible drop-off, only 41% drop-off from week 1 to week 2, but because it made so little after its opening weekend, and because it cost so much to make, this film is basically set to be a giant flop. This is a film that I could see losing between $50 to $100 million at the box office. And I think it all comes down to not Harrison Ford being a part of it, because I think Harrison Ford is the only reason to want to go see this film. I think it's because the movie itself is based off of a book that modern day audiences might not really know all that much about. And so all therefore we were left with was a really poorly done and poorly generated CGI dog. And I just don't think that has been, to this point, has been enough to be able to bring out those younger audiences. You would expect a film like this focusing on, oh, look at the cute little doggy who's also CGI. Guess what? It's like a cartoon almost. You would think that would bring out the kids, it would bring out the families. Does not seem to be the case. Looks like that film is going to be a flop. What is not a flop, though, is Bad Boys for Life, which continues to make money weekend after weekend, while Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn has another 50% drop-off from another week. So this film continues to fall back into obscurity and looks very likely to fall at the end of its run as a box office bomb, but we'll have to wait and see when all the final numbers come in. And somehow, someway, Jumanji: The Next Level continues to make millions of dollars every weekend, which is just freaking awesome. Congratulations to that film being so damn profitable, and to all the films that are doing so well at the box office. But what are your thoughts about this? Are you excited to see Invisible Man? Are you planning to see Invisible Man? Again, as I said, it's about the Invisible Man, and yet the focus is mostly on this actress right here. What's her last name? It's something Moss, I believe. Let me see. Full cast and crew. Yeah, Elizabeth Moss. So Elizabeth Moss is getting the primary key billing here, and the story is called The Invisible Man. Now, if you wanted to say the wife of the Invisible Man, or if you wanted to name it something else, then hey, go right for it. But if you're going to call it The Invisible Man and he's going to be taking a back seat to someone else's story, I don't know. I'm kind of, you know me and sequels, prequels, and reboots, remakes, etc. I just don't like them if they're not needed. This doesn't seem to be necessary unless they're trying to push for something else in the process. But we'll have to wait and see what the film is and what the critics end up saying about this movie. But a $1.65 million opening weekend for a film that only cost around $9 million to make is actually not too bad. I was going to say that wasn't a good opening weekend, but when you do take into account how little it cost to make this movie, making over $1 million in its Thursday previews is actually a pretty decent number. Nothing too crazy to run home about, but still decent nonetheless. But what are your thoughts about this and all the things we talked about in the comments section below? Also, make sure you smash the like button, give us a subscribe. It helps us out a lot. You're all amazing, beautiful people. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless. And now to give a shout out to my February Patreon and Subscribe Star members: animation commentator Brian P., Dion, David Brobrizik. Please let me know if I need to repronounce that name. Divex, Elizabeth M., Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Weird Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunky Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Drop Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, Jeffrey Lebowski, JJ Jonathan Jerembeck, Kenneth Cameo, Lady T, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, The DJD Show, and Tina B. And over on Subscribestar, Robert Revo, Larry, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2 Cool 99, Darkstar 57, Alice McCarthy, US 888-209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nebanon G. Adams, and ZK Man. Then a shout out to Riff Racer Request and Sir Lance Lato and Mike Jackson. You rock. Thank you very much for being my Patreon Subscribestar members for the month of February. And if anyone else decides to join, at the next couple of days or so, I will add you into this list as well. You guys freaking rock. Have a wonderful one. And as always, God bless.